Okay, let's just unpack this right off the bat. If I just gave you the title of the show we're covering today, Goddess Bless You from Death, where's your brain go?
It sounds like, I don't know, a heavy metal album. Or
Oh.
maybe a really intense prayer.
Right. It premiered on Halloween 2025, and if you went in expecting, a breezy, lighthearted romance, you were essentially walking into a buzzsaw.
A buzzsaw is probably the most accurate description. This is a Thai series that took the boys' love or BL genre.
Which is usually soft lighting university crushes.
Exactly. And it drove that genre straight into a gritty, true detective-style horror movie.
It's a massive tonal shift.
Yeah.
And that's exactly why we're talking about it. We've got a stack of sources here, reviews, plot breakdowns, cultural analyses, and we're going to look at how this show just reinvents a genre.
We really are. We're talking Thai occultism, psychological trauma, and this fascinating idea of safety as a love language.
Because that opening scene alone, it is not romance. It's a straight-up massacre.
It sets the tone immediately. You're looking at an abandoned mall, which is already, classic horror geography.
Yeah.
And inside, you find 7 victims arranged in a ritualistic tableau. But the detail that really made everyone flinch was the way their mouths and eyes were sewn shut with red thread.
Which is such a twisted subversion of imagery. I mean, usually in Asian folklore, the red thread is the red thread of fate, right?
Exactly. It's supposed to be this invisible string that connects soulmates. It's romantic.
It's destiny.
It's destiny. But here, they've completely weaponized that symbol. They're using the thread to bind, to silence, and, as we learn later, to trap the soul.
So it's not about moving on together. It's about preventing them from moving on at all.
It's taking a symbol of eternal love and turning it into a tool for eternal damnation.
That is horrifyingly brilliant, and this is the world our main characters are dropped into. So let's meet the guys trying to somehow fall in love in the middle of this nightmare.
It's the classic skeptic and the seer setup, but with so much more baggage.
First up, we have Inspector Singh, played by Pavel.
Right. And Singh is your classic rational thinker on the surface. He's 35, a stern detective, and he's working inside a police system that is undeniably corrupt.
So he only trusts what he can see. Forensics, evidence.
The tangible stuff, yeah. He uses what the sources call professional rigidity as a defense mechanism. He just walls himself off.
But here's where it gets really interesting. For a guy who claims not to believe in ghosts, he is literally walking around covered in magical protection.
It's a walking contradiction. He possesses sacred protection from the deity Talwesuan.
Who is what, exactly?
In Thai folklore, he's the giant king of the north, the ruler of demons, and a protector against evil spirits. So Singh has these tattoos, he has statues, he dismisses the supernatural with his words, but his body is basically an amulet.
A natural shield against the very things he says don't exist.
Exactly, which makes him the perfect foil for our other lead, Thup, played by Pooh.
If Singh is the shield, Thup is the target.
100%. Thup is the complete opposite. He's 25, an orphan. He has heterochromia, those different colored eyes, which visually marks him as other.
And the sources describe his demeanor as puppy-like, but that feels a little misleading.
Well, you have to imagine a puppy that's been kicked too many times. He lives in this state of constant, exhausting hypervigilance.
Yeah, because he sees them.
He sees ghosts since birth. Imagine that. You're just trying to walk down the street, and layered over the real world is this world of gruesome, vengeful spirits. There's no off switch.
He's terrified all the time.
24/7. And of course, the conflict kicks off right at that gruesome crime scene we mentioned. Thup is found there, and he's arrested.
Because to a rational cop like Singh, he just looks like a lunatic. Right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
But this leads to the central mechanic of their relationship, which I think is one of the coolest twists on a romance trope I've seen. The human talisman dynamic.
I love this because usually forced proximity in romance is so contrived. Oh no, there's only one bed.
Right. Here, it's a survival necessity. Thup discovers that when he's physically near Singh, the vengeful spirits just vanish.
So Singh's sacred protection, that Talwesuan connection, it radiates outward like a force field.
It does. So Singh becomes a literal anchor. Thup isn't just hanging around because he thinks he's cute.
Does that probably helps?
It helps. But he's there because Singh is the only place in the entire world where the screaming stops. It reframes intimacy completely. Staying close isn't just affection, it's safety.
Okay, so we have the couple. Now let's talk about what they're up against, because the horror elements here are no joke.
Not at all.
Oh.
We mentioned the red thread, but the reasoning behind it is so specific. By sewing the mouth, You silence the victim's ability to pray or speak their truth in the afterlife.
And the eyes.
You blind them to the path of rebirth. It's designed to trap the spirit in this state of agony and confusion. It's basically spiritual kidnapping.
And the ghosts enforcing this are genuinely scary, I've heard.
Oh, yeah. You have the split-mouth ghost, Chaba, who's just horrifying, and then a protective mother ghost. The sources all say the makeup and cinematography were peak horror. This was not campy. It was meant to get under your skin.
And the investigation itself is pretty intricate. The killer is choosing victims based on the day of the week they were born.
Which is very culturally specific to Thailand. Your birthday determines your lucky colors, your personality traits. So it feels like destiny itself is being hacked.
And this all happens against the backdrop of this religious foundation, the Singha Thup. It feels like the show is trying to say something there.
It definitely is. It's setting up a contrast between auspicious protection, like Singh's power, which is righteous, and malicious occultism, which is the black magic the villain is using. It's a battle of spiritual ideologies.
And Singh isn't entirely alone in this. We have to mention the supporting cast. There's Say, the forensics expert.
The rational anchor.
Yeah.
And Dr. Darren, who becomes a target herself, which adds these medical stakes. But the character who really adds friction is King.
Oh, King. Singh's ex-partner and ex-boyfriend.
And that history is heavy. King represents everything Singh hates about the system. He's opportunistic, morally ambiguous, the guy who'll plant evidence to get ahead.
He's the ghost of what Singh could have become.
Exactly. He forces Singh to confront his past and really define his own moral code. It's that question. Is it better to be a successful cop or a good one?
So what does this all mean for our main duo? They go through some serious changes. Let's start with Singh's arc. He starts as this emotional stone wall.
He does. And his journey is about moving from a rigid skeptic to a vulnerable protector. The key moment is when he stops seeing his protection as just a quirk.
He accepts it.
He accepts it as a tool. He realizes, I can use this to save him. He shifts from a man who follows the law to a man who protects the person.
And then there's Thup. He starts off as just a victim of his own biology.
Thup's arc is all about empowerment. He goes from terrified victim to empowered survivor. And the psychology here is so important. Singh's protection gives him a safe space.
Breathing room.
Breathing room. You can't heal when you're constantly in survival mode. Singh gives him the space to switch out of it.
And once he has that space,
He starts to use his visions to solve the case. He reclaims his power. He turns his curse into his superpower.
I love that. It's such a fresh take on the grumpy ex-sunshine trope.
It is. Usually that's just a personality clash. Here, their intimacy is forged through shared trauma. They aren't just dating, they are surviving together.
Okay, we have to talk about the climax. Spoiler alert for anyone who hasn't watched, plug your ears for 30 seconds. But we have to discuss the twist.
It's a big one.
The mastermind behind all these sewn-up bodies, it's not some random cult leader.
No, it is the abbot of the Singha Thup Foundation. But the real twist, the one that hits you like a truck, is that the abbot, Adikun, is Thup's biological father.
Talk about daddy issues. That is Shakespearean.
It's tragic on every level. And the motive wasn't just pure malice, it was attachment. He was trying to cheat karma to save his other son, Boom, who was dying.
So he's sacrificing strangers to save one child.
And family. The most heartbreaking reveal is that Thup realizes his own mother was a victim of this same ritual years ago.
Wait, his dad killed his mom to save his half-brother?
Essentially, yes. It's so heavy.
And the finale, Singh and Thup end up as the intended final sacrifices?
They do. It all comes down to this final ritual. But in the end, Thup uses his powers to break the abbot's hold. And the abbot is consumed by his own karmic debt. The spirits he enslaved turn on him.
Which goes back to that theme, merit cannot be stolen.
Precisely. You can't force fate. The attempt to preserve his family is what destroys it.
So how was the show received? It seems like it made a really big splash.
It did. It won a Golden Kinnery Award. Fans and critics loved the acting, especially Pooh Critton as Thup. His grief in the finale was apparently a masterclass. And the chemistry with Pavel was just undeniable. You believe they needed each other.
But it wasn't perfect, right? I read some complaints about the finale.
There were some pacing issues. A common critique was that the finale felt rushed and had some plot holes. Singh entering dangerous scenes without backup.
Classic TV cop stuff.
Frustrating, but yeah. And there was one specific gripe that fans really latched onto.
Oh, I think I know what you're going to say. The noose.
Laughing. The infamous noose incident. During a huge fight scene, a noose gets thrown around Singh's neck. He fights off the attacker, gets free, but then he just leaves the noose there, draped around his neck.
He just leaves the murder weapon hanging around his throat while he continues the scene.
It is. It's one of those moments that just breaks immersion. Fans were screaming, "Take it off! Take it off!"
That's hilarious. It's like the horror movie trope of running upstairs instead of out the front door.
Exactly. And some fans were a bit frustrated that we didn't get a clear official couple status at the very end. The implication is there, but people wanted that final stamp.
But despite the noose, the show's legacy is pretty solid. It's based on a novel, Singha Thup, right? How does it compare?
It is, but the book is described as a no-bullshit procedural. It's very dry, very focused on the police work. The show leaned much heavier into the romantic chemistry. They took a case file and turned it into a character drama.
Which feels like the right move. I think if it was just the procedural, it might be too grim. You need the heart.
You absolutely do. You need that hope to balance the dread. The show really succeeded in blending that true detective grit with supernatural romance, which is so hard to get right.
So when you boil it all down, what's the big takeaway here?
I think it proves that safety and protection can be the ultimate form of romance. It moves the genre away from just "I like how you look" to "I literally need you to survive."
That's a powerful idea.
It is. It's not about grand gestures. It's about standing between the person you love and the things that haunt them.
Yeah.
Literally.
And it makes you rethink dependency, which we often see as a weakness.
Exactly. But the show asks, in a world full of ghosts, is relying on someone else a weakness, or is it the only way to truly survive?
That is a fantastic thought to leave on. Whether your ghosts are literal spirits or just your own personal traumas, maybe finding your human talisman isn't codependency.
Maybe it's just smart survival.
Well, on that note, we're going to wrap up. Whether you're a horror fan or a romance fan, Goddess bless you from death, sounds like a wild ride. Thanks for listening.
Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please consider liking, commenting, and subscribing. It really helps the channel grow. See you in the next one.